I'm always delighted to be with Saul News. This has been such a leader in the conservative movement and the Republican Party.
Welcome to the Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for September 23rd, 2022. An article from Axios reports, new poll shows DeSantis leading Trump in hypothetical Florida primary. Governor Ron DeSantis may have an edge among voters in his own state over former President Trump, according to a new USA Today Suffolk University poll released on Wednesday. In a hypothetical 2024 primary in Florida, DeSantis leads Trump 48% to 40%. This compared to January, when Trump led DeSantis by 7 points. But nationally, in a Politico Morning Consult poll also released on Wednesday, 52% of respondents said they would vote for Trump if the GOP primary were being held today, compared to 19% saying the same for DeSantis. The Washington Times reports, GOP lawmakers question Biden's demand for $22 billion in COVID relief after declaring pandemic over. Republican lawmakers chided President Biden on Monday for declaring the COVID-19 pandemic as over, while he pushes Congress to spend another $22 billion in emergency relief ahead of a looming fiscal deadline. During an interview with 60 Minutes, President Biden declared the COVID-19 pandemic was over.
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over.
The president has asked Congress for $22.4 billion in COVID-19 relief, part of a $47.1 billion emergency spending request that includes $11.7 billion to provide lethal aid and budget support to Ukraine. Congress is facing a September 30th deadline to pass funding for fiscal year 2023, and lawmakers are considering a stopgap budget measure known as a continuing resolution to keep the government running while budget negotiations continue. And finally, Leader McCarthy and House Republicans introduced the Commitment to America. GOP leader Kevin McCarthy and the House Republican Conference are introducing their Commitment to America, a policy platform to create an economy that's strong, a nation that's safe, a future that's built on freedom, and a government that's accountable.
When you and your family go shopping, you probably ask yourself, can we afford this? Now more than ever, Americans are struggling just to get by, wondering if they could even make it. You know what's even worse? The country's struggle goes beyond just the grocery store. Violent crime is at record highs in our streets and neighborhoods. The border has become a national security crisis, with fentanyl killing our fellow citizens. Soaring inflation has shrunk paychecks and sent us into a recession. And our kids have fallen further behind thanks to school closures and lockdowns. The White House and the Democrat majority in Congress control Washington. They're in charge. This is their record. And yet, they want you to give them 2 more years of power. But Republicans have a plan for a new direction, one that'll get our country back on track. It's called the Commitment to America. A plan for an economy that's strong, where you can feed your family and fill up your tank. A nation that's safe, where communities are protected by the police and criminals are prosecuted. A future that's built on freedom, where your children come first and are taught to dream big. And a government that's accountable, where politicians don't get special treatment. We simply cannot afford 2 more years of business as usual in Washington. We need common sense change now. If you agree, join us and tens of millions more across this great country. Because people like you, who work hard, play by the rules, deserve better.
You can learn more by visiting commitmenttoamerica.com. That concludes your Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for September 23rd, 2022. For more political news faster, visit saulsnews.com.